That's cool.
Me and Lennox and Jackson on our plantation tour. What up, Lennox and Jackson? This is the only way the kids should see a plantation. Burnt to the ground. Need to burn some more. Hallelujah.
I got sunflower seeds.
Well, I'm gonna say 2025 has been a crazy year so far. What up, y'all? It's your boy M-phamis, Green Community Report. Welcome back. I want to give my own thoughts and opinions about, like, the Annabelle doll and the whole, the plantations being destroyed. Alright, little context. There was a doll back in the 70s named Annabelle, and it was like, kind of like kept in like some sort of glass case, where like people were warned to never touch that doll, because like that doll has like caused some like crazy supernatural incidents. Okay, for the plantation one, the plantation was called the Nottawy plantation. People have wedding venues and stuff like that over there, and pretty much like it mysteriously catch on fire. Now that you guys caught up, like, share, and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me out on DNR. The links to everything is down below. And guys, if you wanted to get my videos early, like before like it ever shows up on YouTube, head over to my Patreon page. The links to everything is down below, so check it out.
Hey, Annabelle, since you done hit up this place, can you hit up here? Yeah, you know what this place is. We all know what this place is. It starts with a W and a H. You know, Agent Orange and some other people that need to go. And then you can hit up. And can you hit up here? This is where Agent Orange live. You know what I'm saying? That would be great, because I'm pretty sure there's some horror stories in there. But back to this here, well, you need to do some more of these plantations. But while you at it, are you taking requests? Because I know a couple people in places I would love for you to hit up. So yeah, we see you, Annabelle. Do what you gotta do, child. Let these people know. And you see what color her hair is. That tell you everything you need to know. She said, all right, bet.
So you know how they say all gingers are black? I wonder if she's black. Hey, cuz. Think about it. I've never heard of Annabelle hunting any black families. Have you? Plus, didn't Annabelle just take a nice little tour to the plantation that burnt down to nothing? Makes sense. Thanks, cuz.
This fucking evil bitch behind me, the Annabelle doll, she's been in New Orleans no more than 48 hours. And guys, you tell me evil isn't real? Well, I'm about to tell you something that might change your mind about that. A massive fire has completely destroyed one of the US's most historical, if not the most historical plantations in Louisiana. This is the Nottawy plantation, located in White Castle. Investigators are still trying to figure out what might have caused the fire, but you and I know the truth. Oh, and let's not forget that not 10, but 11 inmates, one of them is not pictured here, escaped from one of the prisons in New Orleans. Here's a picture of the cell that they escaped from, and here's another picture as well. Now, those of you that don't believe in evil might say that this is all just coincidence, but I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you that I do think that this doll is extremely evil and powerful, and I do think that her being there has caused all these crazy incidents to happen. Let me know your feedback in the comments, and follow for all things horror, and be safe.
The Annabelle doll recently caused panic when rumors swirled online that she had gone missing. But do you know the history behind the infamously haunted doll? Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren of Connecticut came into possession of the doll in the 1970s after two young nurses reached out begging for help. They claimed the doll was placing eerie handwritten messages around their home, moving on its own, and even physically attacking one of their boyfriends. The Warrens also had their own paranormal experiences with the doll and even claimed that the priest they called to help nearly died when the brakes in his car failed as he was leaving their home after not taking the doll seriously. Another story tells of a visitor to the Warrens Museum who died in a horrific car crash after being kicked out of the museum for mocking the doll. Do you believe that Annabelle is actually haunted? Click the link to learn more about her.
I used to be a tour guide at Nottawy Plantation. Nottawy was not talking about history properly. They regularly threatened my job because I was, quote, too emotional about the historical context and slavery there. I was there from 2017 till 2020 when COVID hit. The amount of ridiculous nonsense that I had to talk about on that tour was overwhelming. Dutch people, when they came in, because there were thousands of people from all around the world that would come in, the Dutch people knew more about the history of the transatlantic slave trade than the majority of people that worked at the plantation. I'm glad it burned down. Make no mistake. The type of history that they were teaching there was a bunch of just headline stuff. It was a bunch of buzzword stuff. I mean, honestly. I'm in Facebook groups and looking at people's posts about it being burned down, and the only thing that they're talking about is, this architecture. Oh, did you know that they would hide jewelry in the bedpost? Oh, did you know that these curtains were reproductions of the ones from Gone with the Wind? And the way that the script for the tour was written was framing John Randolph as a slave owner who wasn't that bad. He was nice, blah, blah, blah. And I absolutely refused to talk about that. I went against the grain. I even upset somebody to the point where they told me that calling him a shyster was racist. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, he was a shrewd and calculating businessman who put profit above all else, including his own family, and he was a coward who ran away to Texas whenever the war started. There's all this mythology about how, the lady of the house went out one time, and the reason why the house was saved is because she had a knife under her skirt and she was ready to kill those people, blah, blah, blah. She went ahead and said that they could stay there as long as they kept it up. There's zero proof or evidence of any of that. There are tons of paintings all around the house where they're like, this was the family, this was the family, this was the daughter, this was that. And like, none of it is true. None of it is true. I remember whenever the news stations from all around the country were calling plantations and asking them to make a comment on the Knot, that wedding magazine, removing plantation weddings from their advertisements, and I couldn't give any sort of statement, but I went off record and went off. So yeah, I'm glad Nottaway's gone. Nobody who's actually owned it really cared for the actual real history of stuff out there, and they really just wanted to be able to continue charging people $50,000 plus for weddings there. Which also, shame on you if you think that that's a good place to have a wedding. You're an idiot. And no, the house itself was not haunted, but the grounds were absolutely cursed.
Okay, let's start with the Annabelle doll. When I was a kid growing up, I used to be super obsessed with like the paranormal and supernatural. Like cryptozoology, demonology. I don't know, I was like a little kid, I was like somewhere around 10. I never messed around with that that supernatural stuff, like the Ouija board. The thing that people sometimes use to like contact the dead or something like that. Oh, in case you guys don't know what cryptozoology is pretty much like, study of mythical creatures, legends, like, for example, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, the Bishopville Lizard Man, the Mothman, stuff like that. Okay, to be honest, man, I was freaking out when I heard about, like, that plantation, like, being burned down. I was freaking out, man. And the fact that that doll showed up around the exact same time that, like, the plantation got burned down, and the fact that, like, those prisoners escaped? So far, they managed to only catch 2 of them. Honestly, though, I find that very hard to believe that that's not a coincidence. Like, the moment, like, some crazy, rumored to be cursed doll happened to show up, to, like, a plantation or like, what was it, Louisiana? And Louisiana is well known for, like, its voodoos, its haunted houses, its haunted everything. And the fact that they brought that doll there, and it ended up, like, burning a plantation to the ground, and setting, like, very violent criminals free, there's no way. There ain't no way that's a coincidence. And quoting from The Incredibles, coincidence? I think not. And knowing that, the scary thing about that thing is, the fact that the Annabelle doll has red hair. And this happened around the same time the whole gingers are black trend was going on, which I actually did like a video on that. So guys, if you want to like check out my thoughts and perspective on that, click this title card right up here. There is no way that like all this happened around the exact same time. Somebody had to set this up. Okay, I don't know whose idea was it to bring a quote-unquote cursed doll out of its cage or out of like, what was it, out of like the box that it was contained in on a freaking like joyride or a freaking world tour. From what I heard, like, it was all about, like, proving that demons and, like, all this stuff was actually real and stuff. The old lady, Lorraine Warren, pretty much, like, warned everybody that, hey, whatever you guys do, do not let Annabelle out of that freaking box. But yet, did anyone listen? No. Like, seriously? Like, hold on. You guys see, like, a bunch of scriptures surrounding that little doll, and the fact that people claim the fact that it was, like, possessed by some very powerful and dangerous demon, and y'all really still want to like mess with that doll, take it out of its cage, and pretty much like, what was it, take it all over the country? On second thought, it would be a good idea for that Annabelle doll to make it to the White House, man. At this point, we kind of need Annabelle to go to the White House. Alright, joking aside here, again, why the heck would anyone want to mess with a doll like that? I mean, seriously? Okay, I can see the valid point that, like, people, like, took the Annabelle doll out to promote, like, the new Conjuring movie. I'll probably, like, review, like, the Conjuring movies, probably around Halloween, maybe, if I have time. In my honest opinion as a black man, I don't know what it is with us black folks. Like, once it comes to, like, anything supernatural, paranormal, we know dang well to, like, stay the heck away from it, like, immediately. We know, like, not to be trying any of that. I don't know what it is. I just think maybe the ancestors were, like, telling us that to warn us or something. But all I know is, man, like, even if black folks don't even, like, believe in the supernatural, or, like, even, like, deal with, like, supernatural stuff, even if we're Christian or Muslim or Jewish maybe, we know not to be messing around with no spirits or anything like that, man. It's like, we have like some sort of built-in spidey sense somehow. You know what I'm saying? Here's a question. Should all the plantations in the United States, should they all be destroyed? I mean, obviously, to like any black person in this country, obviously that's a yes. But for me, I kind of feel like it's kind of both. Like one hand, we should destroy it. I mean, hello. The fact that like, it's the Nottawy plantation. The worst of the worst plantations, man. The fact that Nottawy plantation have been marketed and have been like been viewed as mostly like a place where you can have like a wedding venue or like your vacation. That place, it's just savagery. It really is because it's insane. What I mean, who the heck would want to like have like a wedding? Okay, let's be honest. 9 times out of 10, it's probably the KKK motherfuckers. Okay, those are the most likely people who would probably like have a wedding at a plantation. In general, like any like racist, white supremacist person, like any of them would do that immediately. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy how like once it comes to like the Holocaust and like Auschwitz, no one would dare, even I wouldn't dare, like go anywhere near Auschwitz and try to like market it or try to like turn it into like some sort of like hotel or a place where you can like, gather your friends and your family for special events and stuff like that. Honestly, no, bro, like, it's just insane. It's just savagery, man. It's just savagery. It's like, I don't know, another way to see it is like, it's like peeing on someone's grave, or someone, like, I don't know, like, egging someone's grave or something like that. Bro, everybody and their mama would be on that person's ass if they, like, freaking, like, what was it? Like, I don't know, like, egg somebody's grave. Bro, even I'm ready to throw hands if someone, like, mess with somebody's grave, man. Because you're supposed to have respect for the dead. And given the fact that there's so many trapped souls that are definitely in there, and given the fact there were actual footage, people have been claiming like they actually seen ghosts around that plantation. Well, I mean, like after like the whole fire, like after it got burned down. And the scary thing was, that thing just like reunited itself like on its own though. I'm telling you guys, we are definitely living in like very like spooky times right now, man. Alright, now going back into like should plantations like be destroyed? Obviously yes, because again, there's so many trapped souls that are in there. And again, the fact that a lot of people have died and people have been like using the Nottawy plantation as like a place to like relax and have vacation. You know what some people have like said like after like it got burned down? They're like, boo hoo, why the plantation? That was my favorite plantation. Seriously? You clearly don't like have like no respect for like the dead or anything like that, man. In the 5th TikTok clip where what was it? One of the guys that actually did like work on the plantation and actually had to do the tour, bro. He said he had to like sugarcoat it like everything, like from like the whole, like him, like what was it, like telling them like, oh, he like bought an entire family instead of like just buying one of them. If our educational system is not down the toilet, I don't know what is, man. I don't know where the bar is, man. And he mentioned the fact that like even Dutch people like know more about the like slave trade way better than like any average American, and this is just nuts. I mean, it's amazing. Like every other country and culture like around the world knows more about like slavery than people here in the United States, like people that are born and raised here. Like, it's just embarrassing, it really is. One hand, we should keep the plantations around, as again, like, those things are like literal reminders that slavery was real and the horrible atrocities that were committed on those lands, on those very property, should be remembered, or at least recognized at least. In my opinion, I think that like those plantations could be like turned into like a little museum at least. I mean, after everything that's going on right now with like the attacks on DEI, the fact that like like there was like an online campaign or some sort of rumor that like the country, like the state is pretty much trying to like get rid of like almost every single historical facts about like Harriet Tubman, 40 Acres and a Mule. They're trying to get rid of our history. As a black man, as an African American, an FBA, whatever term you want to use, I say it's our duty to make sure that the history of slavery in the United States should be at least preserved and making sure, like, again, like, it's protected. Always. Alright, yo, that was my honest opinion about, like, the Nottawy plantation being destroyed and the Annabelle doll. Again, like, we are living in some very serious and very scary times right now. Everybody better be on guard, or you're gonna get caught up, man. I don't know, man. Things are getting crazy. Look, I'm not here to, like, start no panic or anything like that. I'm just bringing awareness to these things. And giving my own personal perspective on this as a black man living in the United States right now. Again, I feel like it is our duty as black Americans to make sure that the history of slavery in this country is never sugarcoated or never, like, downplayed, ever. It should never be downplayed. Like, share, and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me on DNR. The links to everything is down below. And guys, if you want to get my content before it ever hits YouTube, head over to my Patreon page. M3 Boy,